Welcome to Gem Collectors with Shawn, and I am that Shawn, raring to go, and I hope you are raring to watch, listen, and learn, because this show is not just about show and sell, it's about show and tell. And then hopefully you'll want to do a little purchasing. As you have the last 2 weeks, wow, the week before last, of the items I brought in, all but one sold. Last week, I got a report, and pretty much everything I brought in sold. So well done, because you recognized the value and the bargains that they were, including those two magnificent rings. Now, we're going to find out who got those, and of course, I'll just go ahead and say Miss Kathleen. Miss Kathleen got them, and I am so happy for her to have done so, because, well, I'll have to read to you what she wrote, but the main thing is she recognized the bargain on the sapphire ring and that aquamarine ring. And so the order of the comments would be to start with hers, but I think I'm going to put her comments at the back, just because so many other people commented about the aquamarine in particular, that it's worth for her to hear it, that what she saw in that aqua was the same thing that everyone else saw. Value and that incredible cut. What can I say? When I have to admit that, you know, I have been cutting in general since the age of 11, so that's 51 years, but I have been faceting since the age of 15, so, you know, being 62, so do the math on that, 47 years or so, lots of years. And I have learned a lot about everything from critical angle to, you know, learning how to cut a stone so that there is no window in it. A window being what we call, or a fisheye, where a fisheye more relates to the way diamonds are cut, but still it's the same thing. Cut it at the wrong angles, and it's either going to look dead like a fish's eye, or you're going to look straight through it, hence the window. And a window occurs in a gemstone, and I really need to make sure that you know that, because it makes all the difference in the world in the brilliance of a stone. And in a stone that has a lot of saturation, in other words, is a deep color, you want to make sure that you cut it so the light reflects back out of the stone, taking away some of that saturation and giving you brilliance instead. And to cut it at the correct angles, you never really know until you take it off the dop stick. The dop stick is what the stone is attached to and goes into the fasting machine. You never really know until you take it off and clean it up and look at it whether you really nailed it. And by the geometry and the science to it, you know you're cutting it to where it should do that, but you really never know until it's done if that wonderful reflection comes out and there's no dead areas in it really occurs. And the aquamarine was spot on. And Barbara makes a great comment in regards to what to look for to know that it has been cut on the money when it comes to especially an aquamarine. And the really great thing about that aquamarine is translate the word. That's what, you know, this month, as a matter of fact, any day now, it is the Raven's birthday. So aquamarine she said was never one of her favorite stones, except for the crystals. Oh, she loves the crystals. She got a great collection of aquamarine crystals. But she said the aquamarines that she saw that I had personally cut, she liked. And that one in that ring. She said, well, you know, it's my birthday. You know, unfortunately, I could not afford to give her that aquamarine, but she absolutely loved it because you know what she said? She goes, the word, she knew. You don't have to know Spanish to be able to figure out that aquamarine means seawater. It literally translates, and of course in the Spanish language, it really makes sense. And I speak some Spanish. I lived in Mexico, I lived in Ecuador. I had 3 years of Spanish in school. So yeah, I know a little Spanish. Comes in very handy here in Georgia. So the word, you know, the way they will do a sentence in Spanish is, it makes sense, is they give you the noun first, like a house, casa. And then, so you know what the object is, a house. Then they give you the adjective afterwards. So when you are listening to a sentence, you know, instead of saying, oh, what a beautiful red house that is, in English, you're saying, what a beautiful red. Well, you don't know red what. You have to wait to find out what the red is referring to. It could be a red car, a red fence, a red anything. So in Spanish, they give you the noun. So, oh, what a beautiful house. And then the adjective, what a beautiful house, red, afterwards. So you already know in your mind, okay, talking about a house, now what are you going to say about the house? Then they give you the information out of it. So I always thought that kind of made sense. So aquamarine translates to aqua, of course, we all know. Aqua is water. And then marine is sea. So the word aquamarine, when it was named appropriately because the aquas that they found looked like seawater. And what color is seawater? It is not a blue, it is a green blue. Now, in some pictures and pamphlets and brochures, it might look like a beautiful azure seas and blue seas, and there's other reasons for that, looking maybe more blue. But overall, we all know that seawater has a green tint to it. And so I thought, remember how I always say that the name for a gemstone or a mineral should give you some information in the name of it? Well, aquamarine is spot on because it tells you really the color that it should be. It is through, and one of our trivia questions actually was relating to the heat treatment of aquamarine, because the heat treatment has to do with the valences in aqua. And it is an iron impurity in it that by heating it will change the valence from either a +2 to a +3. They can actually change it anymore, actually back, but that's another subject. So heating it by changing the valence, and that's the number of electrons. Like I said, we won't get into that, even though I could, and I love to talk about it, in the molecule. So it's iron, and it's an iron valence which changes and does away with the green tint in aquamarine. And as one that has heat treated thousands of carats of aquamarine, I can tell you that it is quite a thing to see. I put all these faceted aquas into the oven, And it's an oven, not your home oven. And almost disappointed when I take them out and they're done, and they're all blue. They all lost the green. Not a single one. And I'm talking about thousands of carats. I mean, I remember one time, I don't know, there must have been 300 faceted stones of 3 carat plus size. And I put them in, and they were beautiful greenish blue, and which I would have left them just like they were, but that's not what the dealer wanted. And it literally not a single one was left with a green tint. And I have to hand it to the Raven. She absolutely loves what aquamarine was named for, the greenish tint in it. And it is also, of course, what separates it from blue topaz. I mean, the biggest confusion, I think, in gemstones in today's market really is the difference between a aquamarine and a blue topaz by looking at them. I've seen enough that I can actually tell by the particular color and the cut, even though they're close to the same hardness and all, there's just a different look to them. But still, on average, no one else could really tell the difference. And still, I to be certain, I would use a filter or a refractometer to be able to distinguish for certain. And she loves aquamarine that is natural color. That big aqua was natural color. And if it didn't seem to be so green if she hasn't already gotten it, which she may have already gotten it, she will be even more so impressed with the stone because it has that beautiful, beautiful, thank you, sir, tint of green still in it. And, you know, that's what I wanted. That's why I cut it and left it that way. Now, I could take it just as it is and heat it and turn it into a very desirable blue. And in the market, believe it or not, that's what people want. And it makes a difference in the price per carat. But you're getting something that isn't the way it came out of the ground. And I'm a pretty big purist about that. So, yeah, congratulations. So let me read. We don't have too many comments today, so they'll go quick. But everyone that commented about that aquamarine, Miss Kathleen, it was extremely complimentary. That along with the sapphire. And you did really well by recognizing just how inexpensive those pieces were. And if they weren't from the estate, and if I did not have control of what I could sell them for, there was no way that in the market, if I was getting them from somebody and having to resell them, there's no way I could have sold them that inexpensively. Everything works out just as it's supposed to. As also, she says, remember, there's something magical about this show. Don't know exactly what it is, but it really is magical because remember, there was a request by Miss Kathleen also for aquamarine crystals. And so I showed some. But what I really brought in was that beautiful showpiece one. And she comments about that. So we'll get started on the comments then, and it will make more sense. So I hope everyone had a great week. It's supposed to be 88 degrees here already, and for me, that's already too hot to work outside, unfortunately. So hopefully it's going to get a little cooler again next week, and I can get some things done outside. Oh, one more note, since a lot of people referenced the house project. And wait till you hear Miss Kathleen's story about her house, cabin. It just got worse this past week. And it got so worse that I actually couldn't even deal with the substitute. My project manager, I was supposed to meet with him the very next day to sign the paperwork on moving forward. Now, they already mitigated, they already tore out the walls, they already tore up carpet and things, tore out the insulation and things like that. So it was the reconstruction part. And I had talked to him late on a Tuesday, I think, and he was supposed to come the very next day. And I heard half an hour after the appointment time that he was no longer with the company. Just like that, no longer with the company. I couldn't find out, even though I asked. I wanted to know. I want to know if he was fired. I want to know exactly why. I was so involved in this situation, I felt like I had a right to know why, because this was just another huge holdup. So they assigned my project, my home, to divided up his projects between a couple other project managers. And I outright told them that I wasn't going to make an appointment with him because I was so upset that my angst, we'll use a nice word, was such that I would have probably taken it out on people that it wasn't their fault. But my angst would have been taken out on them. And I don't get loud or yell or anything, and I wouldn't have. But I am very semantic, and I can use some really good words when I need to that would have projected out on them. So I actually told him that. I actually told the guy. And so we communicated back, and he answered a lot of the questions I had that I was having trouble getting answered before. So it seemed like I'll be able to communicate better. But I have moved along no further with this project, and I sent him all the other speed bumps I hit and told him just why. And I did tell him that, listen, if you meet with me this week, you're just going to catch wrath that shouldn't be directed at you. And I'm calmer now. I'm calmer. Because I checked with Social Security, and I can get my Social Security at age 62. It's not worth waiting 5 more years to get it, and it'll bridge the gap that I need. And because I'm an LLC, I can also stay right here working at bringing you this show, and the income won't affect it. Check with my CPA about all that, and they told me all about that. So that was the good news for the week. The only bad part is, remember, my birthday's in January. I could have been collecting it already for 3 months. Now, it's not nearly what other people would probably get due to self-employed income over the years and whatnot, but it's enough to, I always knew that I'd work till the day I died, whatever that was going to be, because I like what I do, and it's my hobby anyway, so I'm going to either do it at home for a hobby and set up and, at shows and sell whatever anyway, so why not just keep working here, because I have all of you. And it is, if it were not for these positive comments in my life so many times with the other issues that have happened to me, I don't know. I would feel much differently than I do. You guys have really kept me alive, and I'm just going to use that word like that in so many ways, it feels like. So if not alive physically, alive spiritually and emotionally and mentally, which really would turn out to be physically in the end. So I thank you for that. So that was my week. I hope all of yours was better. because I need to get this house done. All right, so let's start off. We're going to go in a little bit in reverse order. Charles, we'll start with you, Mr. Charles in Oregon. So Charles says, ciao, Professor Shawn, GSN crew, and the Rock family. Now remember, Charles is the one that won last week, got that wonderful, incredible piece of lapis, right? That really high-grade piece of lapis. I am so excited to stop by the post office to pick up my trivia lapis on my next day off. We have been wanting to get some for a while now, but we're holding out for the good stuff. That piece looks awesome. The magic of the show again. And that piece is awesome. It was one of our personal ones left. Because remember, as I had bought a flat of it at one time. So, you know, different pieces I sold different times, but as I get towards the end, I saved some of the better pieces, and they were some of the smaller ones, as in that one. And it always doesn't mean that there's no pyrite. I actually like pyrite in it. It's also a good sign that you know you're getting a genuine piece. And, you know, calcite, that can hurt the value, but it can also be attractive. And it's almost always fluorescent if you're like to have some fluorescent calcite in it. But that piece will cut pieces without fluorescence. And it's like color of my shirt. I mean, it's that beautiful color. He goes on to say, we have been wanting to get some for a while, so we got the good stuff. Thank you for talking about heat treating carnelian. Notes taken. I also have a heated vacuum chamber. Wow. Remember, I talked about mine that I use for heat treating sapphire. Mine is for making essential oils. That's really cool. Now, of course, the Raven, my hippie chick, I call her my witch doctor. She has got a cabinet or two full of teas, herbs, and oils. And she mixes her own oils. She knows all about essential oils. And as a matter of fact, like this morning, she goes, do you want to be spritzed? Well, I had her initially, find out what that is. So I said, sure. So I take off my glasses, and she has, I think it's a turmeric spritz that really freshens your face. I trust anything she treats me with. And so she mixes, and so I know about essential oils. She was jealous when I told her that you had an essential oil vacuum chamber. So you got me beat there. I don't think mine can exactly do what that one would do. It's nothing like yours, no, but should work well for stabilizing lapidary material. Absolutely. If you can pull a vacuum on different pieces, you can really draw material into the piece. There's all kinds of things you can do. All kinds of things. We won't talk about what it does to critters, but that was just science project. It was like putting one in a rocket and testing the G-forces when we were young, and the two-stage rockets that we would send up as teenage boys. Boys will be boys. And then, anyway, girls might be listening. We won't talk about that. So Charles goes on to say, Kathleen, you're not alone. I'm the frugal type. I need at least a couple days to consider my purchases. It's been tough with many items getting snapped up quickly. I have missed out on several purchases. We get the ones that are meant to be ours, no worries. And that is exactly the magic to this show. When we get to Kathleen's, you're going to find out how that magic has occurred again. It occurred with Charles and the lapis. Have a good weekend, everybody. With love, Charles, who opts out because he won last week, which is not something you don't have to do, but a lot of people have done that. So giving other people a chance to win. Question 1. Now, remember, trivia. I'll mention and read the questions. Questions from last week were the chemical formula of Al2O3, which is 2 atoms of aluminum and 3 atoms of oxygen. That is what a chemical formula means when you see it written like that. So what that is Al2O3. 2 atoms of aluminum and 3 atoms of oxygen combining, and they're pulled and attracted to each other and combine to make one molecule of corundum. Corundum is ruby and sapphire, or just corundum, which is common corundum is actually mined and was mined in North Carolina, like Chunky Gal in those areas. It was mined for emery boards first, and for grinding stones used for in place of silicon carbide, and because it was the hardest natural substance before they learned how to make silicon carbide, a man-made, which we all use in cutting stones, in cabochoning, and in tumbling, is silicon carbide. So it's actually a little bit harder, like a hardness of, let's just say, 9.5 kind of thing. And remember, the Mohs scale of hardness is kind of a logarithmic scale. It doesn't mean just one, a 9 and a 10. There's a 4 times difference in hardness between a 10 and a 9. Diamond is actually 4 times harder, not just one number harder. So, and the same thing between others. There are differences between each. So, finding commercial quality corundum was very important. And if you happen to have along the way some gems that came from it as well, some gem quality, then you have either ruby or sapphire out of it, which made it even better yet. But many of the mines are old corundum mines that are up in the Nantahala Mountains. And especially, I call it my apocalyptic mine shaft, which is where I'm going to go when all the world falls apart. I know exactly, and I've taken Summer and Raven to it. Summer being Raven's 23-year-old daughter now, and I guess with her boyfriend we got to include him, but it's big enough. And I've actually, so I've taken the 2 gals. You got to cross a creek, and there's stories to that. when Raven fell in it, she had both her hands full of stuff, and she fell crossing it. So I had my hands full. We all had our stuff, and she's just, stepped on the wrong rock. But it was middle of winter. There was actually snow around the entrance to the mine shaft. So when you get to the mine shaft, it's the kind of mine shaft that no one even knows about, because you know how you can always tell? There's no graffiti written on the rocks. There's no garbage. I mean, not even cigarette butts. It is pristine. That's how few people know about it. So anyway, that's where I'm going to go. So it was an old ruby mine, but it was mined mostly for corundum, but they found some gem quality ruby there as well. So that's also where I have showed you some of that amazing, really high quality specimen quality serpentine, or chrysotile serpentine. Beautiful quality material, and very crystalline. So it's kind of neat to be able to mine that right at the entrance. So pretty cool. So the chemical formula for Al2O3 belongs to what gemstone? And the answer, it could be either I'd accept ruby, I'd accept sapphire, or I would accept corundum. Question number 2 was, what element is altered when aquamarine is heat treated to drive off the green. That element, I thought that was a kind of a tricky question, but everyone did really well with it, was iron. It was iron is the impurity in beryl, in aquamarine, that is the valence is altered, and that changes, drives off the green color. So iron was the answer there. All right, so Charles goes on to say, have a good weekend, everybody. With love, Charles. He opts out. Question 1, corundum is Al2O3. Heat treating beryl is an iron valence conversion. Perfect and wonderful answer. Next, we have Mr. Anthony. Well, let's do it this way. Miss Elisa. Miss Elisa says, hello, Professor Shawn, the lovely Raven, GSN crew, and Rock family. Shawn, I am sorry to hear about the repair delays on your home. I hope they're able to finish the work soon. Well, we just have another week that we lost. My answer to this week's questions are sapphire, totally acceptable, and iron, very good. I have to watch last week's show still, but I wanted to get my answers in for this week, at least since time is flying by. These days, I feel like the White Rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. Haha. Take care, everyone, and have a great week. Lisa. Yeah, sometimes we do have so much to do, we end up running around. We used to say, with our heads chopped off like a chicken. I say that because my dad raised chickens, and he taught us how to, we didn't need to, but with 6 kids, it was neat, so we had fresh eggs. And my mom would have rather bought them in the store, but we raised chickens, and he taught us, of course, how to, turn them into a usable piece of chicken that you can eat. There, I'll say it nicely. But that does involve, and you see it in movies where you chop the chicken's head off, and they literally do run around with their head chopped off. They do. If you think that's just a saying, that's not true. You know what? Let me tell you something. I read, it was in Guinness Book of Records, and since then that, this was like up in the Midwest. Someone had chopped a chicken's head off to eat it, but they left the brain stem. They didn't cut it off hard enough, so the brain stem was still intact. The chicken lived for 9 years without its head. Sounds like a cockroach, doesn't it? And they would feed it right through the top of its neck. And I don't know why I'm telling you all this, but it's just interesting. And some of you maybe just like, running for the bathroom. But hey, it's just science. That's all. Interesting science, right? 9 years it lived without with its head chopped. Yeah. Okay. So, good job there, Miss Elisa. Mr. Anthony says in Massachusetts, hello all. I got a specimen Jones. And I'm saying it like that because he has musical notes to it. You always seem to figure out what we want. Not me. The magic. I'm happy you show what you show and say what you say. Does that include chickens with their heads chopped off? I think you have a pretty good handle on what each of us look for. I like the unusual as well as materials I can add to jewelry pieces. Wow. I'm from the school which you teach. Have it on hand so when you need it, you got it. That's exactly why I had a collection of gemstones that was, I don't know how many stacks high, 52 a tray. I was told by someone else that did the same thing, this lady named Dudley. And she said, Shawn, just buy one little tube of gems as you can afford it. She goes, $5, $10, whatever it is, And as you go, she goes, in the end, it'll be like a savings account, and it'll be a wonderful collection by the time you finish. And that's exactly what I did. And it was some of the best advice ever given to me, because I wound up with an incredible collection that now I'm sharing some of those, and not all of them. Maybe I bought 10 carats of something and I'm selling off 5 carats. Others I used. But when I had my 2 jewelry stores, there were so many times that I had to do a stone replacement. And instead of going to one of these replacement dealers that charge a fortune for a single stone, I would just go to my own collection. It was so rare that I would not have what I needed, because I had done exactly what had been suggested to me. So, someone came in with a missing garnet, with a missing ruby, even marquise shape, whatever, I'd have it. And it felt so cool. And of course, I charge very inexpensively, but still what I charged would really cover the cost of all the rest of them. And it was a small fraction compared to what one of the biggest replacement wholesale houses in the United States, which everyone's probably familiar with the name if you're in the business at all. And they were, it was so expensive from there. So it was really a great suggestion, and I passed that suggestion on. So Anthony is from that school of doing that. So I'm digging the loose stones right now. Don't get me wrong, most of the estate pieces in that collection are unique and beautiful, and I got a couple myself. I scored the Mabe Pearl. Wow. Great piece. And the parcel of emerald cabs this time. Those emerald cabs were facet grade quality. And I know, since Anthony facets, that if he wanted to, he could take any one of those emerald cabs, and it's a preform. Like I said, flip it upside down. You can cut and facet from that cab so quickly and easily. And practice some neat, unusual cuts as well, because they're big enough to do that. And they were clean stones, and they were so inexpensive for what they were in the cabs. Wow, great, great purchase. I gotta say, the craftsmanship on the aquamarine ring with diamonds you made, man, oh man, perfection. And that's exactly what he wrote. That is exactly what he wrote, Miss Kathleen. And that's a guy that cuts stones, that's a guy that makes jewelry, and that's his comment. And I appreciate that. Even though I don't have it now, I know now that it went to a great home. Because if not, I was only going to show it here in this show the one time. If it did not sell, I was going to pull it even before its 4-week stance. And it was going to go upstairs. And it would have been sold at a much greater price. Much greater. And that would have been the end of that. There wouldn't have been a second one. So to sell it in this show, and I would not have known who the buyer was. Never. So this way, it's personalized. I know now that that aqua went to a great home at a great value. That makes me feel good. And it makes me feel good when all of you who are in the know about gems and jewelry saw the beauty in the piece the way Raven and I did. That was the natural green in it, and it was the cut. And we're going to still get to the cut. Trivia: chemical formula Al2O3, aluminum oxide, emery cloth or corundum sapphire. Yes, emery boards. So remember the name emery boards? Emery was another old-timey name, and it just carried forward to this day for ground up corundum. And they would put it on emery boards, do your fingernails. They put it on, they still do, emery sandpaper. You can get sandpaper and it says emery. And now you know that you're really, because remember, all colors except red are called sapphire. So you could actually say it's sapphire sandpaper, right? The element that dissipates from heat treatment of aquamarine is iron or the valence of iron. Well done on that. Good job. Next we have Miss Barbara. Hi, Professor, Raven, GSN crew, and the whole rock family. That was a nice mix of minerals and jewelry you showed today. Thank you. I got to ask what the bright green thing is on the display table behind your right shoulder. Well, would that be right looking at me from the camera, or is that my right looking at you? But either way, I asked the Raven, and she goes, oh, it's probably this one. Here we go. So she got it out for me. Look at that. It can't be anything other than that bright green. Look at this piece. And it's for sale. I may show it later if I don't decide to keep it. That should be a trivia question, but I have another one. And I'm going to tell you right now, one of the trivia questions for today's show is this. Speaking of green things, it's going to be, what is this stone? So I'll give you a little closer look at it later. And that's going to be one of your questions. So, by the way, that's calcite. Calcite from the Gold Hill mine in Utah. And it's stunning, that color, stunning. And that's the color it is supposed to be. Congrats to Anthony for getting the furry salamalane. Nice piece. Yes, it is. If a piece that made the Mindat, not the exact one, but one just about the same size, and personally, I think the one that Anthony got was a finer piece because there was very little, all the crystals were straight up and down. It was a beautiful furry piece of salamalane. That piece in 2013 made Mindat photo of the day, one very similar to it. So that just goes to show you the rarity of it, especially now, and the rarity of it. Yes, I said it twice because that's what you're looking at. It was that rare to still find it. Of course it would be. How could you not find something like that undamaged? And that's why it is hot glued down, and that's why it has saved it in that condition, because I can't tell you, as a when I first got it at age 14 or so, you know, how many times I would have, if it was loose in there, I would have tipped it upside down, dropped it, whatever, and crushed those crystals. So I don't know, keep it in its original box maybe, because that's my original. I remember making that name with one of those little machines that does that. So I don't know. That was a tough one for me to sell. And there's actually no others available. I actually looked, Googled it, and there wasn't anything like it. There was petroidal salamalane, but which is, yeah. Well done on getting that. Kudos on the cutting of that aqua. Here you go, Miss Kathleen again, and Barbara is in the know. Barbara knows her stuff. So to get a compliment from Barbara, you're doing well. I did well, I guess. Kudos on the cutting of that aqua. So listen to this, Miss Kathleen, which I liked this description of how she determined that it was well cut. You achieved the silver flash that sometimes appears in emerald cut emeralds, which takes a serene aqua and makes it lively. Well done, you. Thank you, Barbara. That means a lot. That means a lot to me for you to say that and to recognize that flash. And I know exactly the flash you're talking about. I just didn't realize it the way you looked at it as a determination for something well cut. I never really, I've seen that as the result, but I thought that was just the result, of course, good cutting, but I didn't know it would be something to look for as another determining factor if something is well cut. But you're right. You're exactly right. I know that flash is there when it is well cut. And now Kathleen should feel even better. As to the trivia, Al2O3 is the formula for all corundum, including sapphires and rubies. The coloring element in aqua is iron. Heating creates an iron valence conversion, driving off the green, which is usually a shame. See? Miss Barbara likes that also. She likes the green. To drive it off is a shame. Cool blue made aqua the sophisticated darling of the ultra wealthy in the past decades, but with richer natural colors coming out of first Santa Maria, Brazil, and recently Shigar and Gilgit, these natural colors are finally being appreciated unaltered. Absolutely, absolutely. That's why my crystal specimens are all in the aqua, all natural, unheated. And again, it goes back to the name, aquamarine. It doesn't say azure marine, which is blue, you know, or it doesn't say any blue word. No, it says seawater, seawater. Seawater green. Well, got a scoot. Since the tree service folks are here to slash and burn my unruly backyard, this should be fun. Watching someone other than me do the grunt work. Yay. Take care, all. Barbara from Brooklyn. Yes, that's what I need is anymore with my back and with my long COVID. I need yard work. Jan and Dennis. What a great couple. Hi, Shawn and the Growing Rock fan family. It's Jan and Dennis. We just saw your show and mentioned the newly discovered listen to this. And mentioned the newly discovered gemstone knife, LOL. Which, that's the one, of course, I referenced that was not completely hidden, but tucked away in Summer's room behind something else, and I was nosing around, and she's here in the building, the Raven is, but next door, so I still haven't fessed up. She doesn't even know that it was there. She had forgotten, I have no doubt. So it's not that big of a deal because in the end, I control the inventory. Not to be like that, but yeah. So it was my right to be able to take it. I had to, you know. Bills have to be paid and things have to be sold, and it was supposed to have been offered long ago. But here's the thing. It wasn't. It would have been sold a long time ago. Let me read on. When I learned that Dennis was into knives, I told him about you and the handmade gemstone knives. Now, Jan goes back a long way here as a wonderful client of Gem Shopping. And when she's referring back, I mean, I've been here like 15 years now. There was a period of time for years I sold gemstone knives. I sold knives like that were upwards of $7,000 and $8,000. The handles were made out of incredible boulder opal with lots of opal, beautiful fire opal, with green obsidian blades, you know, that rare Teotihuacan mine that made the Teotihuacan Empire because they had that green obsidian. And I could go on and on about the other ones, and I sold them for a long time, a long period of time. But those days are over in that, and I would not have had anything left over as unusual as that rhodonite piece. Of all the different knives, that rhodonite one was really unique. As a matter of fact, it was the only one I ever had with a rhodonite handle. And then also with that beautiful obsidian, iridescent rainbow obsidian blade that was from, so the handle being from Canada and the obsidian from USA, from California, Davis Creek. When I learned that Dennis was into knives, I told him about you and your handmade gemstone knives. I told him that you used to sell them on your show, but probably sold them all, and then lo and behold, you had one, so we had to have it. He says that it's our fault that he is tumbling rocks now. Any advice for him on tumbling tiger's eye? Yes, I have some advice, but first back to the knife. So that knife waited all this time for that moment, for this moment, for Jan to be able to surprise Dennis, because she really didn't, know he was into knives. And she told him about wonderful. Isn't that something when you tell somebody about something and you don't have anything representative of it to show them, only your description and words, and then like she said, lo and behold, I show a knife that was perfect to get for him, which will be the highlight of his collection, without a doubt. That is all done with American craftsmanship, and I was actually the one that finally talked him into signing it. It's he and his wife, the Johnsons, and that's why the KJ is there. And because he wouldn't even sign in his work, I said, what's going to keep someone else from putting their signature on it and saying that they did it? And he thought, yeah, you're right. So he started signing all his knives. And yeah, great piece. Okay, tumbling tiger eye. Some of the main things you need to keep in mind. Tiger eye is a cryptocrystalline quartz with chrysotolite impurities, and but still it's in the hardness of 6.5, 7. Make sure you tumble everything roughly with the same hardness. So you don't want to tumble, hardnesses of 8s or 9s with a hardness of 7. You also don't want to tumble softer ones, because the harder material will keep the softer material scratched, and you won't be able to get a real high polish. So pretty much tumble all quartz together. That would include tiger eye. Secondly is make sure you clean your, I actually sold brand new tumblers in a box here in this show also. Within the last 5 years, I had them. I didn't have many, but I sold out every one of them instantly, because they were like, I sold them for like half of what you could get them for, because they were, brand name tumblers. So make sure you clean them really well. I actually use my ultrasonic oftentimes when I was tumbling corundum, to make sure I got any impurities from the grit, from the previous grit, out of the crevices of it. And that's really important, because if you don't get the material really clean, then even if you have to hand brush every one, because still when you're going from your coarse grits, the rock is getting more rounded, but it still will have holes, crevices, pits where grit can hide in it. And then the other thing is don't try to speed the process up and skip a grit. I would usually go with like a 180 or a 100 at first, and check it often, because all of a sudden you can tumble it too quickly, depending on what grit you start with. Don't skip a grit. If you do, it'll be real hard to get the final polish. And a final polish, so 3 is usually enough. If you use like a 180, then go to maybe a 400 and then a 600. But it's real important to do the 600, to do that really fine mesh. Instead, don't go from like a 400 grit to polish. That last one is real important. So, and then with a hardness of 7, you don't want to use anything like a cerium oxide or something. You want to use a lindier, or basically lindier is aluminum oxide. What were we just talking about? What is Al2O3? Aluminum oxide. So when you see things labeled as aluminum oxide for powders and compounds in the lapidary trade, that is what it is. It is ground up synthetic, corundum, and that will, because of the great difference in hardness between that and corundum, will give you a really nice finish and a really nice polish. Also, the other thing, in your barrel, when rocks tend to hit themselves, you can get the edges, everything else will be polished, but the edges of the tumbled stones often won't be polished. Sometimes you'll think, well, what happened here? It's because the rocks are hitting themselves, and when they hit themselves, that's the part where they're hitting on the edges. So to avoid that, I put plastic pellets in almost all of my tumbling projects, especially in the polishing phase. You can skip it in the coarser grit phase, but when you get into the finer grits, like 600 or polish, I will use plastic pellets. Doesn't take a lot, but use enough to, because remember, if you start with 2/3 of a tumbling barrel full, as the polish grinds down, your material is ground away, and then all of a sudden you have about half full. Well, you can make up that difference with, using some plastic pellets. That is highly recommended. Plastic pellets are cheap enough. Don't try to reuse them unless you keep them for the grit you're using them for. So, if you're using plastic pellets in the polishing, then you can reuse them. Just keep reusing them for the polish or a grit that is coarser. You can go down, but you can't go up. So, but once you go down, you can always have to use them for that grit. So that's a big tip, and that is also a tip not just for Tiger Eye, but for other things. There's others, but that should cover what you need right there. Miss Cindy in Pennsylvania. Hello and happy spring, Rock family. I like that you mix the gems and jewelry with rocks and minerals each week, Shawn. I think your show is wonderful. Items in all of the categories. Enjoy never knowing what you will be presenting. Since you run out of time frequently, can the show be 3 or 4 hours? Keep saying 2 shows a week. I laugh because I have the director of production, the director at Gem Shopping that has the most employees underneath him that he's in charge of, and different divisions, and I have him working the graphics on the show and directing and producing the show. I am already grateful for the time I take up of his, and I wouldn't want to ask anymore. Besides, if it's not broken, I don't want to try to fix it. And yes, we could do more hours, etc. But maybe that would change something about the show, Maybe it just wouldn't be the same quality. So I'm happy with what I have, and would never want to ask for more, because there's not, the quality of people. Asif already knows that I'm already particular about who does the camera work already, and what he does, I'm picky about. One time we didn't have Asif doing it, and we had to redo the entire show. Not that it was necessarily the person's fault, but there was something went wrong with one of the little discs, and but that had never happened before when Asif does it. So anyway, I'm kind of spoiled, and we'll leave it at that. But I appreciate you wanting that. Yeah, I am. Going to my local rock show Saturday. Get to see it all in person. And Cindy, you get to see it all with a level of knowledge far greater than most and many of the dealers that are even selling there. The dealers, what they know, they only know what they're selling. They don't have a knowledge, most of them, across the board, of a broader knowledge of everything. Trivia, sapphire and iron, very good. Have a wonderful week, and I hope you soon have some progress to report on the house. Cindy in South Central Pennsylvania, and her comment, she always has a favorite. That sapphire ring was #1 for me. Gorgeousness. Yes, and that, Miss Kathleen, also was one of your treasures you got. Harry sent me a wonderful picture of that vase. Remember, he got the vase in the trivia. That was I sent him the glue also, but he did the correct thing. He sent me a picture of it. He used epoxy, which was a much stronger glue to use, but he appreciated the glue I sent anyway. And he did also what I have done many times. It was shellac that was used, and so he created his own shellac, and so he shellacked the piece, which made it beautiful and wonderful, wonderful finish to it. But on the epoxy, he took some sanding dust that he had gotten from the serpentine, and he mixed it with the epoxy. And then he epoxied it in, and it blended in and looked perfect and matched it. And that's exactly what I do with like doublets. I take RIT dye. If I'm doing a doublet of opal on a black background, the glue that I use, the epoxy I use for that doublet, I will mix in the color RIT dye black in with the epoxy as well, or other items if I have to use it, and color it the color that I am, whatever the stone may be, using different RIT dyes. If you don't actually have the powder of the stone itself, works great. But if you have the powder from the stone itself, wow, that's a great thing to do. So excellent, excellent there, Harry. And I saw the pictures, a great job on that. Miss Kathleen, so here we go. Miss Kathleen says, wait till you listen to her whole story. It's a great story all the way around. She says, good afternoon. Thank you for the added aquamarine crystals this week. So remember, she requested aquamarine crystals. I was able to get the large crystal that I will display on my mantle. So remember, I didn't have any aqua crystals, but I told her I'd bring in some. And one of the ones I brought in was that large one that I just happened to have and happened to be saving. And it was one of my personal collection pieces. Let's listen. It was definitely meant for me. All this time, I've had it, and I could have sold it and shown it long ago. But the magic of this show made it so I showed it for exactly the person it was meant to have it. Definitely meant for me to have to wait until this week to get my aquamarine. Aquamarine is my son's birthstone. But then you had to go and bring out two of my favorite stones in two beautiful rings. The quality of both those rings are heirloom pieces. You are so right. I do feel a little bit guilty that I purchased both, not giving anyone else a chance. But I just couldn't pass them up. That is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It absolutely was, and I'm so glad, Miss Kathleen, you recognized it for what it was. It was, and like I said, I could have never offered them that inexpensively if I had them in a regular market or in any other situation but the situation that I was in and able to sell off as part of this estate and control the price. And they go way back to 98. And to get a piece that I not only made the ring, but cut the stone also, there's none of those are around anymore. So what a jewel. I do, let's see. It is so rare to see an aquamarine that size and saturation without any window in the cutting that I am still in shock about the purchase price being so low. It was absolutely so low. The entire ring, the aqua would have cost easily more than the entire piece in any other environment but this show. The quality of the sapphire at that price is also unbelievable. Thanks for a great show. That sapphire, if you looked at it closely in the loop, it is so clean for a sapphire. The sapphires have zoning, they have inclusions, they have poor cutting, imperfections. And that's a good sapphire. That sapphire was beyond that, and the color. very expensive sapphire. But not for you or anyone else. Looking forward to next week's show. I feel your pain on the house renovation problems. Listen, everybody, to her troubles. It made mine seem like nothing. Listen to this. When we built our home, a log home, we want a log home. It was supposed to take 6 months to build after the kit arrived. And many of you, if you don't realize, a lot of log homes are built by a kit. And there's a place up in LJ that specifically built homes for kits like that. So I'm familiar with what she's talking about. It ended up taking 16 months to build instead of 6 months. The first contractor, which was one of the company's preferred builders, ended up getting arrested, and they had to extradite him back to Tennessee on 3 felony charges. I wonder what happened to my project manager. He all of a sudden was gone. I have no idea, and that's why I wanted to know. Maybe the same thing. It took us a month to legally fire him so we could hire someone else to finish. Now that's a story. I live in Kansas, so no one around here knew how to build a log home. That's when I heard Kansas, both Raven and I said, Kansas, log home? That's not what I picture for Kansas. Log homes or mountains, that kind of thing. But that must be a beautiful thing to see in a place you don't normally see them. It was a nightmare, and that didn't even count the year I spent designing the blueprints of the home and waiting for the kit to be built. That's cool, they build the kit for your own blueprints. That's neat. I am hoping your experience will go much smoother from now on, but I can definitely relate to your frustration. And that's why I said, my project manager, gone. So we'll see how the rest of this goes. Stay tuned. Hoping everyone has a great week. Trivia questions, white sapphire and iron conversion, correct on both of those. So that's it. Very good, everyone. What a wonderful, wonderful comments. And, the magic of the show continues. That's all I can say. There was no way I knew that she would want such an aquamarine and, end up with the ring and the sapphire. The compliments on the cutting makes me feel really good because it did turn out wonderful. And I'm glad to see that everyone recognized that. Jan and Dennis wanting a knife. Her husband collects knives. Her talking and telling him about a gemstone knife, but knowing and thinking that I had no more. And then I come up with one. And she is the one that gets it. Magic. Just magic everywhere. It goes on. Winner this week. This is one more magical thing. What did one of the people here say? That he was like me, a collector of gemstones so that he would have them when he needed them? Mr. Anthony is the winner, and let's show you what the prize was and is. Look at this. 2 sets of gemstones. Here are the 2 of them. A row of tanzanites, and then look at these. A row of iolites. How rare and unusual those are. And look at the beautiful tanzanites, usable for all kinds of projects. And then these different sizes. Look at the iolites, how you can see the deep blue here, and look at on the side. You know how they're so dichroic. You can see the clear blue here, just as you can. Here's a bigger iolite right there, looking very much like a sapphire. Here's some tanzanites. There's some other ones you can see. So, perfect item for someone that collects those kind of items and uses them to make jewelry with. Very cool. The magic continues. Let me put these up. We'll be right back with the start of the show. Okay, let's start with the good stuff. This is a tanzanite ring, also from that same period of time of the aqua. I did not cut the tanzanite. I did set up the ring. I did not make the ring. So it's just a kind of a set by Shawn piece. Check it out. check this out. Look at this. Now, this is around the late 90s. If you're, wanting something, I don't go by D block or any of that because it's like impossible to determine if something actually is from, that particular part of the mine or not. Many years they've been mining it since the late 60s. Who knows where stuff is from. I can say this. For me, this color tanzanite, this is the color tanzanite I like. Too saturated of tanzanite, in other words, too deep of a color, and you lose the brilliance. Too light, of course, you lose value. This is kind of like in the range of a very fine sapphire, in the same range that you want the color of a fine sapphire to be. This stone, I wish I could say I cut it, but it's not. It's cut certainly well enough. Certainly well enough. You have incredible brilliance to it, and it is a step cut pavilion. The diamonds. They are just really, really a nice white color, and I set them so that there was no gaps. I couldn't stand when I saw gaps between diamonds. So I actually altered the size of the diamonds going from like 3 to 3.2 millimeter so that in the curvature up here, you have to use a little bit bigger stone to make sure that the diamonds are girdle to girdle. If you use, see how this is almost straight? There's a difference, and a lot of jewelers don't take that into account. And so you'll end up with gaps between the stones here. Not my stuff. Look at these stones. What an incredible brilliance. The tanzanite, let me put it on a finger here so you can just kind of see it against the hand. That is, look at the two colors together. That is a really, really fine stone. Now, of course, the client never kept up with the weights, and I certainly didn't have that information from back then. So all the weights, it's amazing by using a particular formulas that they have and a system for estimating weights of stones. And then when I took a lot of different ones out, I was really close. It was amazing how close I got. So I always underestimated the weight on all of them. So this one, it's a conservative 6 carat. Who knows, it could be more, but it's 6 carat plus. The weight of all the diamonds around there, again, conservative, probably closer to 2 carats, but I put a carat 75. What a wonderful piece. Wonderful classic piece. And it's of a finger size that is anymore a common size than 9, but it's easily sized to whatever you may want it. Now, here again, a 6 carat tanzanite. Remember, these tanzanites were selling for $500 to $700 a carat not long ago. That would put just the tanzanite at $3,000 to $4,000. Well, I have priced this like I priced the aqua and like I priced the sapphire ring. So far below the value. With those diamonds in that size, you would expect easily on average in a situation like about $1,000 a carat, conservative at a retail $800 a carat, which would put, of course, then the value of just the diamonds in a $1,400 range. If you figured $500 a carat on the tanzanite, it's $3,000. So anyway, $4,500, something like that, would be a good deal. That's what you would expect it in most jewelry store or other sales environments, except when Shawn has it. I have the ability to offer this. Now remember, the price will never be less than what it is, and you get this one shot at. After this, it will go elsewhere. Price on it, $1,988. $1,988. That puts the tanzanite at about $350 a carat, and the mounting in diamonds would be free. That's one way to look at it. Yeah, 1988. This is one of those other kind of deals that if you can swing it, you can't go wrong. If you've been putting off getting a tanzanite ring and wanted one, well, you cannot go wrong when it's priced like that. That is a price that you will not see anywhere else. Look at that with that. Well, this is, of course, the design that the, well, it had already was a popular and classic look, but both the Princess Di and the Duchess of York both had their engagement rings this same style, this same design. Gemstones surrounded by diamonds. Here you have it in a tanzanite, $1,988. Now, let me put that right there for a moment, and let me get out the other incredible piece. And this next one, I also set it up, but did not make the mounting. It is item number 1110. Oh, wait, let's see. Yep, it is. Shawn, what have you done? Hold on. Oh, my. Yes, I have it right. 1110-323. Yep, 1110-323. Now, let me show you, because this is another stunning look. I'll put them side by side. An amethyst ring, an amethyst in the color I really enjoy because it screams purple. Screams purple, and I didn't cut it, but it is a well-cut stone. As you can see, there is no window. It is a beautifully step-cut emerald cut. Look at that. And 3 nice accent diamonds, conservatively over 10 points each. And the amethyst, by using the measurement tool, 18 carats conservatively. Look at that. Look at that. Now, I love the split prongs on the corners and balancing beads, which when you have a big stone like this, they're very effective. They really work, and I recommend them for people that have a ring that turns on their finger. When it's properly sized, then you add those to it. It works really well. You can see basket and wire support mount with the split dual prongs in the corners. It is just a really great color without being too saturated that the brilliance is lost in the emerald cut. Look at that. Now let me show it on my finger so you get a size reference. There you have it. What a beautiful gem. Remember the color purple, reserved for royalty back in older times? And, you know, amethyst as a gemstone and on its metaphysical properties has a lot of meaning. And I have a keystone above my door and above my garage door that I have actually cut amethyst crystals and put in there because it is a stone, a welcoming stone as well. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. So your opportunity on it, think of a price, and then you'll realize how inexpensive $1,177 is. $1,177. Again, when you do the math on this, that is a bargain. A really excellent bargain. So look at those two. Look at those two. Talk about true treasures, real treasures. All right, so those should grab your attention. Now, let me move to some other goodies. Let's look at item number 1109023. And in this piece, we have, let me get this out and this. Okay, so let me just sit this right here. I'll get this. Okay. Yes, sir. That would be, if my eyes can see this correctly, 1109023. And it is, let me show it to you in the little tube first so you can see it against the tube. So gem tube, a beautiful Afghanistan kunzite. Look at that. This is a very well cut kunzite. And I say that because you can find a lot of them that are not so well cut. And let me put that down there. Yep. Let me remove this. And then we'll put the spin to it. A wonderful color. Now, the colors that you see like this, natural color. That'll be a natural color kunzite. Some of the ones that you see that are like, you know, really deep and really purple colors and whatnot, well, they have been messed with. But look at how well cut this is. There's no window in it. I have to say that I really like that. It's a really clean stone and wow, big. It's calibrated too, 18 by 13, 16.78 carat. And wait till you hear what I'm offering this guy for. So kunzites like that, price oftentimes when I was actually looking at others in the internet, they were you know, anywhere, they were $50, $60 a carat for a good deal. $30 would be a fantastic opportunity on that stone. But how about this? $117. $117. What does that make it? I think that makes it like $7 a carat or something like that. Yeah, around $7 a carat. Ooh, there is, look at that. There is no place that you're going to find a kunzite like that offered for only $7 a carat. So again, it's because I can price it as I need to, because of that is one of the stones that came out of the estate too. So other than that, there would be no way that price that I could ever offer it to you at that price. So it has to come from a source outside of me buying it. Kunzite is a lithium aluminum silicate. Lithium, yep. And it was named in honor of George Kunz in 1903. The first kunzite, he first described it from kunzite that was found in California, from Pala, California. And of course, Pala has some amazing pegmatites that produce not only kunzites, but amazing tourmalines as well. George Kunz was the vice president of Tiffany & Company, of course, and put his name on all kinds of purchases. He was in the Cowie Valley and involved with getting the finer rubies back when really nice rubies were coming out of the Cowie Valley in North Carolina. So, yeah, right place, right time. He would have been one of those gentlemen I would have really loved to have just shaken his hand and met that man. Just you know, he would have been a Shawn of his time. Let's just say that, except probably a little wiser and a little smarter, and he got to see all those original good things and good stuff. This next item. Now this is something that he probably wasn't involved a whole lot with, might have not have been up to Tiffany and Company standards, but it's certainly rare. Item number 1109923. Now, all of you have wanted something like this, and I held out, but now I'm not. It was named in 1836. The color is due to Fe2+. Now that you know about valences, it was an iron, a 2+, which is also one of the valences in aquamarine. So, color, it's amorphous. I'm just wondering if you're going to be able to guess this before I show it to you. So just think about it and do your own ciphering and see if you can figure out what it is before I show it. Okay, amorphous. In other words, it has no crystal system. It has a refractive index of 1.48 to 1.54, so very low. And it is found in the Reese Crater strewn field. Now, I know people like Barbara know exactly what it is now. Check this out. Check this out. Yep, moldavite. It is a moldavite, and it is a very clean moldavite. Look at that stone. Now, I'm going to take it out of here because it is worthy of it. And amorphous, meaning no crystal system, and it is created by the impact of a meteor striking the earth, and whatever the silica is present, it creates a tektite. So moldavite is actually a tektite, and they name tektites after the area that they are found in. So this is actually named after the Moldau River. There's also a town that has Moldau in it as well. Look at that. What you want to see in a genuine moldavite, because people will try to sell ones that aren't, and that you'll find vermiform, lines in it. In other words, wavy lines like you would in glass. And you'll also find other inclusions in it, like bubbles and other inclusions from the material when it strikes it, and it creates so much heat. So it's ejected into the edge of space, and that's why you often hear it called a extraterrestrial kind of gemstone. And then it comes back down, and it's in the strewn field. So, you know, it can be found many miles away from the impact of the meteor area. But the Reese Crater is actually quite large. It's not one of those visible ones. Only from using like LiDAR can you tell the edge of the crater. It's just a slightly raised area from now. 15 million years ago it occurred. Checkerboard cut. This is considered a large stone, and to be that clean. Look at that. A wonderful, wonderful cut. A classic color. This is the color that you look for also in a moldavite. They also can be the inexpensive lower qualities from that area, still brown. Most of the tektites from around the other places in the world are more of a brownish color. The greenish color is unique. I have a opportunity price on this piece, of course, and relative to what you would find it for elsewhere, you know it's going to be a bargain. This, only $88. It's only $88. I'm not going to have another one, so this is the one that you need to get. If you have been holding off, then it is meant for you. Next, I have, this is also something that's going to become harder and harder to get. It is item 1110423. And here is, I'm just going to, I think, leave them in the gem tube for you to see, because look at that. You can see them better. There are one larger one, two sets of matching pairs, and it's neat. The middle one is 6 millimeter. The two other ones are 5 millimeter, and the two smaller ones are 4 millimeter. Well cut Russian chrome dioxide. And of course, everything that is Russian is no longer available. So those of you that got in on any of that Russian tourmaline I had and other pieces, yeah, so this would be something to, if you don't have anything from Russia, to add to your collection. Chrome dioxide. More commonly, you see the star dioxide, as in the Indian black star dioxide. I've offered that before and had a ring, and it creates a 4-ray star due to the crystal system. Look at these beautiful, beautiful green stones. The green is quite unique, quite unique. So when you see a chrome dioxide, and you know what they look like, it has a yellow secondary tone to it. You should be able to identify them by the color alone. But these are nicely cut, so they have a really nice brilliance to them. I like them. I like them. 2.47 carat total weight. You're going to like the price. So all of them for only $28. $28. What is that? Just $11 or $12 a carat, something like that? Not a lot for what that is. So take advantage of those, because I don't have anything, don't have any other chrome dioxides like that or of any size. And yep. All right, so let me clean the turntable, put these away, and I'll be right back. All right, Thailand. We're going to Thailand right now. We have some blue sapphires and green sapphires. Almost 5 carat total weight, 12 stones here. And having been in Thailand and been out to the Bopoi Sapphire Mine, rode a scooter out there, was in Kanchanaburi, went across the bridge over the River Kwai. Nothing quite like the movie, but it was neat to go over anyway. There were elephants below it being bathed by their mahouts, and yeah, just a different slice of life. And but it was a really neat trip to get to experience all that and see it. So you're going to see that these green sapphires are much more green in different lights, but you can also see the nice blue ones. So it's a really good mixed parcel of them. 12 stones, and when you hear the price, 4.95 carat, $38. So you are looking at what, 5 carat, so about $7.50. Or the way I looked at it was 12 stones, $38, just over $3 a stone. So when you look at it that way, it really puts the price into perspective as very inexpensive. All right, let's keep going here. We have lots to do. And I'm not going to get to my educational items I wanted to show you, but that'll be another day. Item 110-9123. And let me scoop these off first. This comes, I sold over 1,000 of the scooper tweezers in the live show I did. I had bought everything the company had. They were a closeout special, and I ended up selling them, and every single one of them sold. It was amazing. I still think about that. I think I sold them for like $3 each. Well, I'm not even going to take that out. I don't need to. Look at that. That is a beautiful, beautiful Swiss blue. Swiss blue emerald cut and calibrated size, 12 by 10, 7 carats. A lot of you really like blue topaz. And remember the trivia question? It is sapphire first, blue topaz or second for the most sold gemstone in the world. That's amazing. So price on that one, ready? You're gonna love it. $14, less than $2 a carat. $14. I bet that gets sold. Next, we have item 1109223. 1109223. I'm not going to take these out either. Don't need to. This is something that you don't see too often. So, blue topaz followed by aquamarine. Look at the cut. The cut on these is really, really nice, especially for marquee-shaped stones. These are calibrated 6x3, so what a great set. You know, many of these items are items that, you know, I had gotten just to have in case I ever needed anything like them like I said, to just like that other collector, Miss Dudley, had told me to just start, you know, buying a piece here or there, and in the end you'll have all kinds of things. And I did. It worked out really well, and it saved me a lot of money in the end from having to go out and buy these individual pieces when I needed them. So this was a match set that I had gotten and taken them out of a piece of jewelry. So I just am making them inexpensive. So how about all of these 8 stones for $32? That's $4 an aquamarine. Carat 64. So you're looking at $20 a carat, only $32. I think that's an incredible value, because where else are you going to get that many? And that is a nice color blue, a strong color blue for the size. Oh, I love this next one. Item 1109723. 1109723. Let's see, hold on, let me make sure I have the right item in the bag, which 1109723. I do. Okay, so that was written wrong. Okay. Take a look at these. Again, probably won't take these out. I think all of you are wise enough to know what they are. Look at that. Iolites. I love iolite. I really do. You know, I just love how dichroic it is. You know, you turn it and you know, they go clear. And then these are the bar cut ones. Remember, I had some garnets that were like this. So these are bar cut, which is quite unusual. They're very clean, and they're matched for color and for cut. There's 18 stones, and when I looked up a competitive value on these from the site I use, that is an inexpensive gemstone site, I always make sure I come in about half of what this inexpensive site sells things like that for. So that is going to allow you to get these very, very cheaply. So how about this? I mean, I actually don't know how I priced these, because I had them in the wrong bag. So I'm gonna make it up as I go, which means, oh, I don't know, let's say $38. $38 for all of them. 18 stones, just over, what, $2 a stone, or $3 a carat? That sounds ridiculously silly of me to sell them for that little. But I need to sell them. I don't want to show them again. And at that price, bar cut like that, you can, for cutters, you can always recut them. You can even do a buff top cabochon on the top, leave the bottom. Just do all kinds of unusual, fun things with them. Very, very unique gems. This next one, I don't think I have ever offered in the 276 shows I have done in this next item. Wait till you see item 1109423. This is one of my favorite stones. You know why? It is my birthstone garnet. Look at these. Tanzanian Tsavorite. And they are magnificent. They are matched. Now, these were from the 1990s. And I say that because some of the, like the Tanzanites, the Tsavorites, the older the stones are, usually the better quality they are, because both Tsavorite and Tanzanite were found, oddly enough, both of them in the late 60s. And so your better material came from the older material. So as time goes on, usually the quality can drop in, you know, the mining and what they find. So these are just some wonderful gems. They're cut well, they're calibrated sizes, and I was floored when I looked up the price. When I looked up how much every market was charging for these, it had gone up a lot since I had been working with Tsavorite. And so this size, the retail price on them was averaging around $250 a carat. $250 a carat. Now, that's probably about right. Tsavorite is one of the rare and valuable colors and of the garnet family. It is a type of grossular and just a really, really rare color that's only found in one area, in a border area between Kenya and Tanzania. So there's actually, with Tanzanites, I've had specimens with some Tsavorite, little pieces of Tsavorite along with Tanzanite, and kind of neat to see that. But this parcel, I'm offering these instead of $250 a carat for only about $50 a carat, making the parcel $156. That's only $26 a stone. $156. That may sound like a lot, but it is not. That, when you look at Tsavorite and find these at only $26 each for stones that are this large, that is a very, very cheap, because I did the homework. I looked at what these were going for, and the clarity is exceptional. So they average at 3.16 6 stones, so they average over half a carat, and that's the benchmark. That's a price that a size that goes for big money. Big money. These are gems. These are gems, especially matched like that. You can do a lot with them. So, again, I won't have any other Tsavorite, because I have not had any Tsavorite to offer in all these shows. None. No loose. I've had crystals, of course, but faceted, Again, if you don't know what you need to do with them right now, doesn't matter. Just take advantage of them as they are. Let's look at item 1109623. You know, grab them, and if you need one stone at some point you can charge for the same amount as the entire parcel, because remember, just about at $250 a carat, which was the cheapest price I could find for this, what they were going for this size. So an average of half carat, that's $125 for one stone, and that's at the cheap end. So yeah, all right, I have next, let me show you, I have a diamond parcel, and all of the round stones have been selling. I think I still have those emerald cuts and those baguette cuts that I showed the other week. So if you want them, take advantage, grab them while you can. Check this parcel out. Here, I show them to you in the tube. I don't know if I really need to take them out. You get the idea. You can see the color to them. These are really nicely matched stones. They're 3 millimeter, a carat 10 total weight, so they weigh what they should for a 3 millimeter diamond. So you can see the brilliance, and they are the clarity, VS to SI clarity. So really, really nice high clarity. They're not the what I call the frozen spit diamonds. Now, I'm going to, because these are diamonds, I'm going to take these out, and let me just show you, if I don't make a mess. Always take these tubes and turn them upside down, especially if you're in an environment where there's dealers and you want to show that you know what you're doing. Make sure you take them and remove the top upside down, because at the big shows, I have seen amateurs do it the wrong way, and everybody is in the aisle then looking for stones, and it's very embarrassing if I were those people, but I have never done that, of course. All right, so I actually created this, just folded a true white. So this piece of paper I have is a true white, and you can see the difference. Now, if you thought this cotton was white, let me show it to you against that piece of paper. Look at the difference in the colors. So you can see a huge difference. So you got to make sure you have a piece of paper that is a true fine white color. And then diamonds are graded on their side instead of looking straight up and down, because the brilliance can hide the actual color. So there's enough of these on their side, you can see the actual color. So if I was to grade them for the color, they probably are like I to J in color. Some are better than others. Yet when you look at them straight up and down, that brilliance, you don't see that. The cut and the brilliance tends to mask the color. So that's why the way that you're supposed to look at them is through their side. So you can, the brilliance is masked. And now when I do that, you can actually see a little tint of color against the white background. Now, why would I do this and make it and actually represent them honestly? It's because I'm Shawn. That's why. And I could do it no other way but to do it honestly. And that's the other thing that you're not going to find in the trade, is many times things represented the correct way. And if I teach you the correct way, then you'll know how to ask the dealer to show them to you on a white paper, and you'll also won't be fooled by them being offered in any other way. Now, there's just 4 of them done, and you can see the other 2, but by doing it this way, you can actually see that there is a tint of color. And once you start seeing a little tint of color, you're either going to be in the color range of the yellows or the color range of the champagnes. These are in the color range of a champagne stone. as opposed to a yellow tint. Now you can see this one on the far left is actually a little bit whiter than the one next to it, so they're going to vary. So that's why, you know, you're going to have some eye colors and maybe some J colors, but that keeps the price down. And when you set them face up, they're going to look white and bright, and you're not going to really see that. But when you buy them, you want to know exactly what you are buying, and that's how you know. Now, I am making this parcel exceptionally inexpensive. Every one of these have sold that I've offered, because even these with that color range, to get them in the wholesale trade, if I was having to go out and get these, they're still in that clarity grade, and the cut is really nice for the weight. So that clarity grade, you're still going to end up paying $500 a carat, and that is business to business. That is not the retail price. The retail price is a whole nother matter. I'm offering these for only ridiculously $198. So there's a carat 10. So that makes them what, 180 a carat, or whatever that comes out to. That is a half, easily a half. I could actually sell these to the diamond traders at that price, easily at that price. So that's why all the other ones, someone out there who hasn't fessed up yet has been buying a lot of the round diamonds I've been offering. I'm not sure who they are, but there's a couple hundred people that watch this show. There's only 10 of you that may write comments. So, and there's been 9,000 subscribers. So there's a lot of people out there that I don't know who they are, but someone is in the know and is realizing just how inexpensively I'm offering some items, and especially like the diamonds like this. So we'll see if they get sold at that price. I can't imagine me offering them ever anything less than that. I'd rather keep them, because if I, again, need to go out and even need one stone or two stones, it would cost me easily over twice that amount of money. So anyway, there's a little bit of education I wanted to do, was to do the color, what you look for on that. So I hope you use that if it comes down to it. Don't be afraid to be bold enough to ask for them to be taken out of the parcel and have the color presented to you like I just showed you. And any dealer should actually be more than happy to do that. All right, so let me put these diamonds up so I don't make a mess, and I'll be right back. Wow, check this out. This is as a finishing up the month of March, of course, the birthstone for March. A lot of you, or somebody, scooped in and got a lot of those other aquamarine crystals. Well, I thought I would offer one more. Look at this, almost a really nice hexagon that you can see as it should be. Natural color, not been heat treated. This really has all the classic things you look for, except what I didn't look for. And you can look carefully for any anhydros, any little bubbles that move, and it takes some time. You got to look through every different depth of field with your loop, and as you turn it in different ways to spot it, or try to find a bubble and then see if something moves within it. Has some really nice striations on the side, just a really nice crystal all the way around, especially when you consider the price. Aquamarine crystals, even like this, go for big money. This one, Not big money. $58. Only $58 on that guy. Let's keep moving here. I have item 108-3522. 108-3522. This is Peruvian pyrite. Look at this. Look at this. Peruvian pyrite. Classic big cubic crystal. That's what you look for in pyrite, is in a crystal form, in cubes or variation of a cube. And then look at all the other crystals. Look at that side. Beautiful in its own right. These other are quartz crystals with iron oxide causing some of the discoloration, or just coloration. It's not discolored, so to speak. I like it. Nice color combination. That big crystal really stands out, though. Really displays nicely. And I even know the mine that it's from. It is from, and that'll be in the information as well. It's from the Wansala mine. And imagine that, 374 grams. 454 grams is a pound. So that's not too far off from a pound. But the really neat thing is the size of that crystal with the striations on it. Very, very attractive. It displays well in many different angles. And double-sided. Wow, look at that. So enjoy that. You can see the size of it for only, how about this? I have it, let's sale price it, $38. Only $38. Try to find something like that from a mine that is a famous mine, well-known mine. Most of the times if you buy something like that, you get no information. You get, it's a pyrite crystal, and maybe you'll get, from South America or something. So yeah, that's all you get. Let's look at item 1110-123. 1110-123. And this is a beautiful piece, especially going into the Easter season. Look at this. A very classy cross. Very classy. And mother of pearl, which I have not seen done this way. This is 14 karat. And look at how, just how nicely it's made. And the design and the support. Nice large bale. And what a wonderful, wonderful idea to use mother of pearl like that. Just a not too big, not too small, kind of perfect all the way around. Especially, again, when I tell you the price. The price makes all the difference. Yeah, this is probably about a fourth of what you would see it for. $77. Only $77 on that. So, again, another excellent opportunity, especially at this time of year. 110-9323. 110-9323. I have a wonderful parcel of mixed color here in, hold on, let me get this put away. In sapphire. I'm going to leave them in the tube, save us time. Look at these. Look at these. And all in really pretty attractive colors. Look at how green the greens are. And the pink sapphires alone, the price I'm going to tell you should be just what the pink sapphires cost. Just a incredible selection of desirable colors on these, and they're multicolor sapphire, and they're going to be, I would normally say Ceylon for all of it except the green ones. I'm not sure, so I didn't leave a country of origin on these, but you could say for most of them they're going to most likely be Ceylon. There's even, look at that bluish one, the light blues and the pinks. Just a really nice selection. Price on these, 11 stones, 2.70 carat, you're gonna, this is crazy. Less than $14 a carat, making it $38. Wow, $38. That doesn't sound right, but that's what I wrote, so that's what they'll be. Now, look at 1109823. 1109823. Now, this is the same parcel, but I separated them by the cut. So you can see, look at these. So almandine garnets, these are trapezoid cuts. They're trapezoids. So that's something you don't see. Plus the color of the almandine, I had to check them to make sure that they weren't spessartine or, another mixed garnet, but they had a magnetic pull, so I'm just going to call them almandine, well cut. And then these are really nice kind of rectangular radiant cuts. So you have 6 of those. .80 carat in this one with 16 stones, 3.60 carat in these with 6 stones. And the thing about garnets is, unless it's a savarite or an andradite, something like that, you can pick up some garnets at a really good deal. And these are exactly that, a really good deal. The entire parcel, oh boy, this is another one. I was bad and didn't put the price on it, so I'm going to make it up on the fly. That means I'm going to offer the entire lot for only, Shawn, you are insane, $18. $18. See, this is when I would buy the parcels like this. When they come in, they'd be so inexpensive. Anytime you can buy a dime for a nickel or a quarter for a dime or a quarter for a nickel, that's what I would say. It's like I couldn't go wrong. I just, you have to do it. It's almost impossible not to do it. And then you have them. You have them for until you need one, and you can pay for the whole shebang. If you ever need one, or if you're making something to have a neat trapezoid cut. How cool to have something like that. All right, let me show you something special. This is a made and crafted by Shawn piece. 1109523. That's a good, I hope that is a diamond. There is a diamond in there. Dave just spotted that. Well, it's in there. I'm not going to take it out. I am going to leave it in there. Now, Christy's probably going to say the same thing to me. So I'll tell her ahead of time. We won't leave it in the descriptor. It's just going to be or put it in there. Just going to be a bonus. Good job there. I have no idea how that got in there. Wow. Okay. Well, nothing wrong with losing a little more money. You're going to lose. There used to be a saying that would go around, you have to lose some to make some. So there you go. Of course, in this situation, I don't think I'm making anything. Let's see, did we get 1109523? 1109523. Look at this. Okay, I made this. I not only made it, but I found the rough. Chunky gal. I found the rough, and not only did I find it, but I saw it. Look at how thin that is. 1.8 millimeters. Look how thin that is. And it, didn't break. I drilled it. I added a silver bale. This, look how well it hangs. It hangs evenly. So you can use this in the windowsill because guess what? There are over 75 rubies in it. Dave, take us in and start over here and I'll show you. Now, the easiest way to find them is with a ultraviolet light. They'll stand out and glow. This is smaragdite. You look up what smaragdite is, it actually goes back, smaragdos is a word, ancient word that means green. So as you look at this, you can start actually, once your eyes know what to look for, you can start seeing, look at all the red. Look at all these rubies. and they're often in veins that you can see them. But ultraviolet light is the best way. They are spotted everywhere throughout this piece. This is, see this? I also signed it. I found this in 2014, S14S. So it is, that's what that means when you see that. That's when I found it. You can see the rubies dotting everywhere. As we turn it around, you'll see even additional rubies. Look at all these. And so I counted and I stopped when I got to 75 of them in there. So if you want to have a little fun, you can do the same. They are magnificent to find and to actually see that many in there. You can just spot them everywhere. I couldn't believe it when I actually saw it and then started seeing them. So this is a piece, let me just show you, that the light really passes through so easily. Oh, great job there, Dave. Now, hold on a second. This is where you can, this is where you play with your stones, because you can really see the rubies and the colors that stand out against the green. You can also see fun crystallization. Look at the red over here. When you backlight it like that. There'll be also probably some epidote, also some kyanite you can find in here as well. But great job, Dave. Beautiful. Thank you, sir. Price on this guy. Oh, that was a lot of work for me to do on this, but I'm offering it for only one of these original Shawn made pieces, $58. Only $58, and what a neat item to hang in your window. All right, clock's ticking down, but we still have a few minutes here. I have all kinds of stuff out in front of me. Not sure what to go to always next, but let's do this. Let's look at item number 1104023. 1104023, and here are again some magnificent color amethyst. Look at that. Look at these. 4 stones calibrated 11 by 9, and you can see, look at the color zoning in them. That's what you want to see anymore. You want to see zoning. There is so much synthetic lab-grown amethyst out there that, look at that, look at the color, that you want to see imperfections in your amethyst. That I would. That's the only way you're going to know that you're getting something that's genuine. Now, when I tell you the price, that's going to be the shocker for you. How about this? I am 10.97 carat. Let's do this. Let's sale price them and make them, oh, I don't know, less than $3 a carat. Make them $32 for the, that's only $8 a stone. No, yeah, 8 times 4. I can do that. $32. Certainly not what I would have to end up paying for them if I ever needed them, but why not? Why not make it a deal? All right, next, let's see. I wanted to show you the big trilobites back there, but that's going to take more effort than I have at the moment, so we'll pass on that. But let me see on this jewel. Yeah, let's have a fun opportunity. 1097823. 1097823. Now, you might have seen this before, but I'm going to sale price it. Here is that moonface lapis piece. Incredible, actually very, very attractive, very nicely made with the blue topaz like that. I take it blue topaz. I never tested it. If it's aqua, then I'm really giving it away. And yeah, so let's do this. Let's make that only $28. $28. That would be a piece that you could even remove the center stone, cut, put an opal in it or something else that you would rather have in it than that. All kinds of things. Now, lapis.
Hold on, I have the wrong number.
Oh, 1097820. Yep, you got one number off.
Okay, how much was that?
$28. Thanks for catching that, sir. There we go, $28. That lapis is a really nice lapis too. Let's look at this next item, which you haven't seen anything like this. This is 705517. This is a oldie but goodie. I have, look at this. Actually, do they stand on their own? They almost do. This is a pair of beautiful agatized coral. And, you know, it's from Withlacoochee River, which is in northern Florida, right between, like the Swanee River, between Florida and Georgia. And 25 to 38 million year old coral. And over time, the silica from the sand above it leached down and replaced the coral with incredible agate. And actually a friend of mine, he's passed away though, he actually dove for all of these. And it has a labeled box you can see. It's just a phenomenal opportunity, and I'm going to put these for sale. Look at this. So this is, look at the way it was found. I mean, who would think that that would be anything? But look at, when you look at this, then that looks like coral, doesn't it? With the little hexagons as we come in close. Yep, perfect. Look at that. That looks like it's a live coral, but it was alive 30 million years ago. And then look at the inside. This is, look at that gem quality. Look at the clarity to it. It's really a chalcedony. And they're polished. The surface has been polished on a flat lap. What a wonderful representation. And I have these sale priced, ultra sale priced now. You won't get the stands, but you can come up, one stands on its own anyway. And I'm making both of these. You would find these for, they'd be $60, $70. How about this? Both of them for only $28. $28 on that. Exceptional opportunity. Now, let me see. Again, so much more I wanted to show you, so little time left to do it. But I had a whole batch of peridot I was going to show you, but we'll pass on those for the moment. And as I'm reaching in my goodie box here, let me just show you really quickly item 1103823. So we showed you amethyst. Let me show you another part to the quartz family is citrines. Look at these. Look at the color. I'll put them against the white right there so you can see just how rich that color is. There is natural citrine. Other citrines are created from amethyst. And then there's also lab grown. But you can see this one right on the end, the color zoning in it telling you that this is the stuff you want, the real stuff. I had a price of $38 on this. Let's do this. Let's see it. How about this? I'm going to mark it right down before your very eyes. We're going to make that entire parcel $28. $28 for 12 carats of this stuff. Around $3 a carat for that color goods. Wow. That is a wow price. And let's see this. I have, okay, over here, one more item I have to show, since someone was interested in the gemstone knives. Well, this is the second to the last one. The very last one I have, I think I'm keeping for myself. It's a silver handled one. It has silver veining in it. I don't know. I may be forced to have to sell it, but this is item, yeah, so, but that other knife, maybe I'll show it. It's, I don't know. This one's 704117. 704117. I've hung on to this one for a while, but I'm gonna offer it. It is incredible. It comes with a Riker mount box, and so check it out. It's got a label, Bird's Eye Rhyolite. Rhyolite, of course, this is the same material that, and actually if you can see, there's actually opal in this. This is the material that the opal is found. If we go in and look closer, you can see opal in this. So the Querétaro opal in Mexico that forms in rhyolite, you can see how it forms. There's many centers with the opal. You can see why they call it bird's eye. And there might even be, if you look carefully at some of these, some fire in some of those areas. But this is the same kind of material that the opal is found in Mexico. This is the hafting, and where Kelly's wife Laura dyes it, and then look at the blade. So the blade is Keokuk chert from Oklahoma. Chert is related to flint. It is some of the original material that the Native Americans used to make arrowheads. This is the kind that you can, what they call flint knap. Instead of pressure knapping, where you obsidian could never take striking with another stone because it's like glass, it would break. This material you can hit it and break it off this way, or it's very hard, but he's an amazing artist, and keep doing it to get it narrower and narrower. This is sharp, beautiful point on this. Dyed hafting, the handle is notched, this is notched where they go together, then hafted together. It is signed right there where I told him to sign his work. This is a piece that I have for sale even, and I'll honor that sale price, but I don't have it. Do you have it, Asif? What is it?
98.
Wow. Really? Did you say 198?
98.
$98. Okay, well, he said it. I can't change it now. $98 on that. Yeah, that's a sale price. So if anybody is interested in that beauty, this is your opportunity. This is your opportunity. Wow. Take advantage of it. Okay, well, one last item. I think I'm, out of time. So let's look at item 103. Let's see, that would be 1039321. Maybe. Exactly. 103 9321. And yep. Take a look. This is rare. This color fluorite is a color that gets its other colors from impurities. So when you have clear white fluorite, that's its natural color before any impurities. And this is with some beautiful additional mica on this, and it is a from Pakistan with muscovite mica, and it's a rare collector crystal for that reason. And it should still have fluorescence to it. You have a nice large size crystal. There's actually facet grade material in there, and fluorite can be faceted. Wonderful muscovite, and probably some other goodies to it that you could find. There's other smaller crystals of fluorite on here as well. This is a very interesting collector piece. I have a sale price on this one of only $32. $32. All right, that's going to wrap it up. I'll be back with the trivia. Okay, so as always, more goods than I have time, but I am appreciative for the time I have, and I hope all of you all are too. Maybe next time I just won't talk so much at the front end side, but I know that's part of the show that you enjoy as well. So we're going to do something different for the trivia today. I have two pieces, and it's going to be, what are they? We haven't done this in a while, but one of them you should know. It's on a piece I featured. The other is that piece of jewelry that I'm wearing. So in a moment, I'm going to show those to you, then I'll come back at you. So let's go to item number one. Okay, so I was wearing this. I'm going to give you only a moment to look at it. There's the front, there's the back. Tell me what this is. That's question and item number one. Question and item number two, what is this? Yes, it is a green day. Should have done this for St. Patty's Day. What is the name of the green mineral on this specimen? I've offered it for sale multiple times. There's other pieces that have sold in the show. It's a beautiful color. There are a lot of other things involved. If you can tell me what the green is, and then bonus points if you can tell me the mine and the state where it is from. All right, simple as that. So I know that's going to be something different, but that's part of the learning curve, because if you're in a situation where a friend comes up, or you have an estate, or someone says, oh, you know, I know you like rocks and minerals, what is this piece? It happens to me all the time, and I have to make a field call. I have to know enough to be able to get close, or be able to offer an opinion that is of a wiser answer than they might get somewhere else. All we can do is do our best, and one of them's easier than the other. So good luck with all of that. If you don't get them right, that's perfectly okay. It's just a little mix-up, not a mix-up, but a little mix-up of a different form of trivia. Good luck to all of you. I've enjoyed being with you. I look forward to being back with you again next Monday. I'll see you then. Cheers.